This is Terry Kurtz On-Line reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, sports, and history.
Well, I will tell my classmates that high school graduation is just one of the few milestones that we'll have in life. We'll definitely cherish and remember it, but we'll go on to bigger and better things.
I'm going to give our class some advice and to know that they're not going to be overshadowed by anybody else because they're the best.
On behalf of the Victor Valley Union High School District in the state of California, I accept the graduating class of 2011.
Let's make these next years count. I'm so glad that I got to spend my 4 years of high school with you guys. You honestly made it unbelievably great. Thank you all for allowing us this opportunity for the last time to speak to you. We would like to thank you for allowing us this opportunity to come to you one last time and we'll keep this short, sweet, and to the point.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here tonight. And now, congratulations, class of 2011!
What sets this class aside?
We are very talented and very diverse. Like I think all of top 10, like academic-wise, like they play a sport, and we're in various activities, like Odyssey or mock trial, and yes, we're talented.
character like Mario Garcia.
The class of 2011 are leaders in the revolution of the education system. All the students from Victor Valley High School have made me proud. Congratulations, class of 2011.
Terry Kurtz On-Line was brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid fast and last, sold on supporting high desert sports. Midway Home Solutions in Victorville. Deagle and Don always has discount prices on appliances, mattresses, home furnishings, and electronics. Valu Quality Truck Body. Family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest standing full service commercial brokerage firm. Ewanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activities. Your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV. 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon.
What time is it, sports fans?
It's time for your High Desert Sports Report.
Your half-hour High Desert Sports Report, the area's only video action highlights coverage of high school athletes, teams, and sports programs, Victor Valley College Rams, and Barstow College Vikings athletic events. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV.
Mr. Hoggerman, on behalf of the teachers and staff at Granite Hills, it is my pleasure to present the class of 2012.
That these graduating seniors have met the requirements for a high school diploma from Granite Hills High School. Congratulations, class of 2012.
I would like to leave you all with my favorite quote from a very wise man. Just listen to your heart. That's what I do. Napoleon Dynamite.
I feel like my speech has a couple different messages, but I think my main message is that there's no one concrete path to success, and you can take a lot of different ways to find happiness in your life.
Dance with monsters through the night. I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wait now.
Don't sit on realized potential. Rise to achieve it.
I think and then Apple Valley High School in general has a lot of good things. This year I participated in Skills USA, which was amazing for me. It was, a job skills competition, and that experience, this was my first year doing it, but that experience was really good for me, and it taught me a lot, and it got me out into the real world.
Nothing saves money like being antisocial.
I remember the graduation I attended 4 years ago. It was your typical graduating weather here in Apple Valley. Cold, windy, miserable.
I hear a lot about how people talk about that our generation is the me generation, how we're self-absorbed and how we're all sorts of these things that I just don't agree with. I think that my generation is, well, we have a better connection to technology, yes, but this also gives us so much information, and it gives us these ways to connect with each other that we haven't been able to connect with before, ever in history.
And I think that every one of the people here graduating today is easily prepared to take on the role of a leader in today's community.
So I feel like our generation is a generation that can be compassionate and understanding and actually work towards solving problems and trying to understand the issues of others.
They say that eyes are the windows to the soul, but doors, they are the gateways to the opportunities of life. So I urge each and every one of you to not be afraid of the doors and the opportunities that come your way, but rather take them and run with them, because you never know what amazing path they'll lead you down on.
Part and large parcel of Sun Devils' pride is Apple Valley football. These seniors, the first undefeated team in school history. Principal Dustin Conrad traces the origin of the Sun Devils' 7 consecutive bell game victories with this account about the 2011 team.
2011. You were all about a month and a half into 6th grade. You weren't even halfway through your education when something happened across the Narrows in Victorville. Buses full of our Sun Devil athletes honored a tradition dating back to the years when our board member, Mr. Bender, was a coach. On that Friday evening, as the buses drove over the Narrows and the town of Victorville came into sight, there was complete silence on the bus, except for one deafening sound. The sound of chin straps snapping closed as the team made its final approach to Raymore Stadium. It was on that night, September 23rd, 2011, that we once again took possession of the bell. Now, in terms of tradition, I'm going to declare that the class of 2000 has solidified yet another AVHS legacy. While the bell and the bell game symbolize tradition, symbolize community, symbolize a spirited rivalry, and is a known trophy to all alumni, I say, in light of 7 consecutive years of success and our 4th consecutive graduating class to have possessed the bell for all 4 years of their high school experience, that the new tradition at Apple Valley High School is not going to the bell game, is not playing in the bell game, but our tradition is winning the bell.
Throughout high school, we shared so many memories together, like enjoying those Friday night lights and keeping the bell for a record 7 years.
As Proverbs 19:20-21 says,
Listen to the advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. Many of us have different plans, whether it be serving our country or going on to pursue a higher education, but we never really know where life is going to take us. Have faith and know that according to the will of God, and that through triumph and tragedy, it is the people around us and our faith that carries us through.
We have to learn that sometimes we won't walk through the right door on the first try.
Apple High brought us memories that we will cherish forever. We arrived here today as the graduating class of 2018, the 50th graduating class. We will leave here as individuals taking different paths, yet forever changed by the experiences we went through together.
They serve as a reminder that each door has a meaning, and each door has a purpose in this crazy, exciting, and sometimes even messed up journey that we get to call life.
We are going to remember the after-school hangouts, skipping class to hold a tailgate in the parking lot, and all the adventures taken on the weekend.
So, to the class of 2018, let's open this door and walk into tomorrow. Let's walk into our future, and together, let's walk into our lives. Thank you.
We use these moments to build ourselves, build our community, and most importantly, build our faith. Use these moments as a reminder that as the class of 2018, we made it. It's been a great 4 years with you all, and we'll miss you dearly. Once again, congratulations, class of 2018. We did it! Thank you.
Places to go, things to do takes us to Big Bear Lake and the paddleboat tour aboard the lake's longest standing tour boat, the Big Bear Queen. Skipper Chris captains the ship and conducts the tour, his informative and interesting narration providing insight to the points of interest by which we sail slowly past. The lake's most iconic landmark is the Big Bear Solar Observatory, the premier university-based solar observatory in the United States. It features the most powerful solar telescope in the world. The leisurely tour along the lake's approximately 23 miles of shoreline takes 90 minutes, same as aboard the pirate-themed Time Bandit pirate ship and Mississippi Riverboat replica Miss Liberty. One distinct advantage Skipper Chris and the Big Bear Queen provide, its tours do not require a minimum number of passengers. You make a reservation, you sail aboard the Queen. Been that way since 1965. The state's years of drought lowered the lake some 11 feet, finally replenished by 2019's record-setting winter snowfall. These side-by-side clips attempt to show how the shoreline, up by over 9 feet now, compares to a couple of years ago. Truth is, the tour is incredibly relaxing and entertaining regardless of whether the lake's water level is 9 feet higher now than in recent years. Another advantage of the Big Bear Queen, it takes us closer to landmarks like the original Dam Keeper's house, which served as the castle stormed by the angry mob in the very first Frankenstein movie filmed in the silent movie era. Skipper Chris Bellows has lived in Big Bear all his life. How he conveys his intimate knowledge of the lake and the history of Big Bear Valley, no small factor. The Big Bear Queen's tour comes so highly recommended. Places to go, things to do in and around the high desert and points beyond. Presented by the Community Table Restaurant and the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. Does Joseph W. Brady find very many positive signs in the direction our economy is heading? It may surprise you, despite the government continuing to pay workers to stay at home and fast rising inflation, there are good news factors to report.
Terry, there's really good news. I think the bigger issue now, I was terrible in college. I was a business major, and I was terrible on the supply demand side. But I understood one thing. if the price of beer went on up and the supply were lower and the price went up, there was an M1 and M2 issue, the axis, okay? So I always kind of remembered economics based on, I was a big Coors drinker back in college. So we have a phenomenon now that we haven't seen since the days of Jimmy Carter and when Ronald Reagan came in office. So I graduated in 1979. I was more concerned about my paycheck than I was worried about this word inflation. But if we remember from 1979 through 81 and 82, we had double-digit inflation that had a severe impact on the country. I was a young man. I was 22, 23, 24 years old. I was living in an apartment in Santa Barbara. Life was good. I carried about working as hard as I could and my golf game on weekends. Those were the two major things. I'm concerned that the inflationary pressures that we have now, and then in the last couple of weeks, one thing I don't think that the Biden administration is putting out, nor is the media putting out, and I think the media is doing a huge disservice to people by not telling the Americans we have a supply chain problem. But it talks about weekly about the real amount of boxes that are coming on over here and the problems that they're having and the problems that China had when they shut down. So you take China having shut down through COVID, and we can debate all day long where COVID came from, and then you can talk about all those distribution centers that we have in areas like Atlanta and Ontario and throughout the country. And so people during COVID were sitting at home not working, and what were they doing? They were buying things. So they were buying that new refrigerator. So that refrigerator came from the warehouse, and the warehouse was not backfilling it because nobody was making it. Okay, so that's now where the supply chain issue is. One of my very, very close friends, Steve Zipperman, is building another custom home right down the street from where we're building over in Prescott. And I want to say this: we're building our second home. We're not leaving the high desert of the Mojave River Valley. Steve was telling me recently, he's got a contractor. Steve is very detailed, knows exactly when things are going to happen. He now has roughly a 3-week delay to get foam shot in the walls because there's not enough foam. So you hear not enough foam. As I've talked to people in the appliance business, they have said that the increase in warranty claims have gone up because what happened was when all the factories shut down, whether they were domestic or overseas, they stopped. So workers went on home. So they took off 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, okay? They came on back and they didn't have the same skills. Okay, so you're saying, Joe, please go rebuild that refrigerator again. And my skills maybe were not as good as they were. And so an error is made and so it's shipped out and an error is made. So what's happening is these companies are being impacted. We have another home in Spring Valley Lake that has an indoor spa room. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we need to get it serviced. So we called the company that used to service it, and they said they couldn't take us they had no idea when they could get a hold of us. So I called a friend of mine in the pool business up here, and I said, tell me about this. And he said to me, Joe, we are the largest distributor of spas for this company in the country. And they're based here in the high desert, okay, the Mojave River Valley. That's pretty cool, okay? He said, bad news. He said, I was just notified by the company last week, no more orders will be processed for the next year while we are now building our inventory. So when you see this supply chain and you see inflation, you see the fact, Terry, that on the day that Biden became president, gas at Costco, where I buy all my gas, okay, I buy it in Nevada, Arizona, California, and all the Costcos, was $2.85. Today it's $3.65. That means it's up 80 cents a gallon. So you take that little 80 cents a gallon, which is to some people may not be a whole lot. I think it's a lot. It's only 28%. So I don't think it's something that the Biden administration should be bragging about. That's 28%. We have 90,000 people that used to commute prior to COVID. Let's say we only have 70,000. Let's assume that we have 40,000. We have 70,000 people driving a day their car, and they go 40 miles each way. That's 80 miles round trip. They do it 5 days a week. Do you know that in a given day, our commuters generate 5.6 million miles? If they get 20 miles a gallon, so go do the math. I've done it a couple times. They get 20 miles a gallon. They work 50 weeks out of the year. That 80-cent increase in a gallon of gas at Costco is going to cost them $800 a year, $16 a week. Well, the Biden administration and Kamala might say, oh, that's not a lot. Well, you know, Kamala's rich. These guys, they don't quite get it, okay? But to a person living in the high desert Mojave River Valley, and the reason that they're living up here is because $400 is $800. We're paying people to stay at home. So you add that to the inflation we're seeing and the fact that we're not producing what we can. Lumber's gone up triple in the last year. Triple, okay? There's a real shortage of some materials. Steel. I mean, steel's a huge commodity. Wood is a huge commodity. So is it having an impact on me building my house? Absolutely. I'm a ready, willing, and able person that has money ready to, I mean, I've invested in this. We've prepared ourselves. We've sacrificed for it. And so now we got to wait. I think the other challenge, I was over at one of our major electronics stores recently. I wanted a particular TV model, and the guy said to me, he goes, you won't get that for 6 months. And I thought, okay, so do I settle for that other brand and just accept it, or do I wait for that particular model because I want to have that particular model? So I think that, you know, while the economy's doing great, I mean, as I said the last time, we need to get our control over our monetary policy, because if it gets out of control, we're all going to pay a price for it. I mean, it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is, where you go to church, what kind of car you drive, your house. Everybody will pay for this deal. So.
Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports Activities. Your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV. 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon.
What time is it, sports fan? It's time for your High Desert Sports Report.
Your half-hour High Desert Sports Report, the area's only video action highlights coverage of high school athletes, teams, and sports programs, Victor Valley College Rams, and Barstow College Vikings athletic events. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Terry Kurtz On-Line was brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid fast and last, sold on supporting High Desert Sports. Midway Home Solutions in Victorville. Deal & Don always has discount prices on appliances, mattresses, home furnishings, and electronics. Valu Quality Truck Body. Family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, our area's longest standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Ewanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. Terry Kurtz here, online. Thank you for watching.